Like most 15-year-olds, I am a K-pop fan. K-pop has been a huge part of my life. I've been to 2 concerts, have purchased a lot of merchandise and albums, and have dedicated days to just watching videos of them online. Why am I willing to dedicate myself to be fans of these unknown figures? Why do I like them so much? Well, they inspire me. They bring me comfort. Witnessing them go through the various hardships that comes with being a part of the K-pop industry, them giving their 100% in all that they do and always pushing themselves to be better has reminded me that dreams do come true, even if it seems a little out of your reach, even if the journey there is tough. It has motivated me through some of my dark times, and as a fan, their constant gratitude towards our support makes us feel appreciated, comforted. They work hard for their fans in order to pay back all the love that we show them. Their dedication to their craft and appreciation for their fans is just something that I admire about them. And as public figures, they are role models to those who are struggling, whether they are struggling to reach their goal or if they just have a lot on their plate at the moment. They remind us all that we need to remember our why, the reason we started on our journey, to push ourselves to go further, and to never forget the people who got us to where we are. But what happens when this admiration turns into obsession? Sassing fans. Obsessive fans who stalk or engage in creepy criminal-like activities that is an invasion of privacy. These kinds of overly enthusiastic fans would do anything just to get their idol's attention. I've read stories and have witnessed fans calling idols in the middle of their live stream, following them to their homes, mobbing them in the middle of the airport, not even giving them the space to walk. These fans will do anything to obtain personal information about the idols, be it their phone numbers, home address, family details, or their daily schedules. These actions would make the idol feel very uncomfortable. And if the idol comes too close into contact with such a fan, they can be put into a dangerous situation. Nayeon from popular girl group Twice once had an obsessive German fan who would send gifts and letters to the group's dormitory, and once got on the same flight as her. He approached her and threatened to kill her when she just tried to get away from him. Scary, right? As public figures, they do have the right to privacy and personal space. Such behavior from the public, people who call themselves fans, is honestly terrifying. Does being a fan of an idol mean that we can ignore their right to privacy and personal space? Loving your idols does not give you a free pass to stalk public figures. We as fans need to remember that there is a line that we cannot cross, that we need to respect our idols. Nowadays, it's kind of a norm for K-pop idols to have that slim, thin, media-perfect body type. But what happens when you deviate from this norm? Wendy from girl group Red Velvet in 2015 experienced a more notable weight gain. But it wasn't that bad, she just looked a little more chubby than usual. She looked like any regular healthy girl you would see on the streets. Yet she was heavily criticized, mocked, shamed, and called fat by the public just for being a little chubby. Now Wendy as a public figure obviously heard these comments and she wanted to try to win back their favor. So she went on an extreme diet. A blended cabbage and apple for breakfast and pumpkin juice for lunch. Nothing else, for a full day worth of activities. Now she successfully lost weight, of course, given that intense diet. But the public wasn't satisfied. They continued to hoard her with hurtful comments, calling her ugly, scary for looking so thin. Who were the ones who drove her to this point in the first place? Who were the ones who made us go on such an extreme, unhealthy diet, risking her health just to look good in front of the camera? Wendy's story is just one out of many out there, even if it doesn't pertain to the idol's looks. Our comments and responses to our idol's action essentially end up dictating the way they live. We expect them to live up to our unrealistic expectations. And when they don't, we criticize them. We hate on them. We send them hurtful comments just because they didn't live up to our standards. This kind of toxic culture and mentality is very harmful to the idol's mental health because they feel the need to listen to us. They feel the need to satisfy us and our insatiable desires. And this isn't right. Does being a fan of an idol mean that we own their lives? That we get to dictate how they live? Does being a fan of an idol mean that we can ignore all rules and boundaries, invade their personal space, invade their personal privacy as if it meant nothing to them? Well, obviously no. This issue definitely isn't unique to K-pop, but it is in a way more severe. One of the reasons is because of the different values in Korean society as compared to Western society. Korean society places a lot of pressure on these idols, treating them as objects rather than humans. Fans expect idols to reciprocate their extensive investment of time and money through displays of devotion, to the point where idols can't even date because this seems to take their attention away from their fans. Mental health is still a taboo subject in Korea, despite the slow change that we are seeing. K-pop idols are desensitized from opening up about their mental health or their struggles like we would do. And this makes it harder for them to get the help and support that they need. Instead, they are expected to meet this extremely high moral standard just so K-pop can have this safe and wholesome image. And for the sake of their careers, they have no choice but to comply to these unreasonable demands. Public figures are supposed to be positive influences, right? But is that really the case we see now? Companies train idols to be the perfect performer with the perfect personality that is marketable to the public. But the public's expectation that these idols have to be perfect pushes them to do bad things in order to cope with the demands. The public wanted Wendy to have the perfect body, and this drove her to unhealthy eating habits. This is not the example we want to set for our youths today. We can't expect these public figures to be the perfect role models while simultaneously pushing them towards these unhealthy habits because they are trying to cope up with the expectations that we are setting upon them. If I have to be frank, I'm really tired of this toxic K-pop culture, where fans treat their idols like robots and not humans, where idols are being blatantly disrespected and overworked, where the idols' feelings are ignored despite all the hurt they experience because of comments people hiding behind the screen are sending. There are idols who have lost their lives as a result of this. Former FX member Sully took her life at age 25 in October 2019. She had to constantly deal with malicious hate speech from netizens who bashed her just because she expressed views that defied Korea's social norms and gender ideals. Shiny member Jonghyun took his life at age 27 in December 2017 after a long battle with depression and suicidal thoughts. He felt like he was going up against the world when he was just an artist trying to perform, trying to live his dream. Yes, when these idols signed up for the jobs, they knew what they were getting themselves into. They knew about the stress and hardships that would come with being an idol, but that doesn't make this kind of situation acceptable. If we see these public figures as positive influences and role models, we should amplify those positive qualities rather than contributing to the negativity. The harsh treatment, standard, judgment, and expectations we have for these idols should not exist in the first place. At the end of the day, all of us are humans. These idols, they're humans. So we should treat them as such. Thank you.